So, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to TiE Woman 2026 Masterclass on Building Resilience as a Woman Founder. So, today we have Noureen Aysha, co founder of FemiSafe. So, to introduce her, I would like to invite Dr. Nisha Jose, chair of TiE Woman Kerala, and also the chairperson of KM Money Budget Research. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks so much, Akarsha. It's so nice to see all of you. Welcome each and every one of you. Resilience is not about never failing, it's about rising stronger every time. For women in business, resilience is often the foundation of success. And today we have with us one such woman, Noureen Aysha, the co-founder of FemiSafe. FemiSafe is a women's wellness startup building innovative products that improve women's health and everyday well-being. Recognized in the Forbes 30 Under 30 Asia 2026 social impact list, she is passionate about creating meaningful solutions for women while building a purpose driven, high growth startup. Through her entrepreneurial journey, she has championed initiatives such as Pad Free Kerala and has become a strong advocate for resilience, innovation, and women led entrepreneurship. In this Thai Women Kerala Masterclass on building resilience as a woman founder, Naureen will share practical lessons from her own founder journey. Incidentally, Noreen was a Thai Kerala Women finalist, and we are happy to have you here with us, Noreen. Welcome you, and over to you.
Hi, Nisha. Thank you so much for the introduction. It feels really good, because I think a couple of years back, I think in 2022 or 2023, if I'm not wrong, um, I was on the other side. So I was there for a lot of Thai women session, and I think um, the sessions, every single session, whether offline or online, that I attended of Thai women, it actually gave me a lot of confidence because I'm usually not a very networking or a social person. And the first time when I think it was Eldos from Thai who reached out for some reason, and he said there's an event happening like this, a lot of like-minded women, you have to join. I was very hesitant because I was going to be in a room full of people whom I never knew, never met. But I'm glad, I did that because it actually helped me. Now, I mean, outside Kerala, when I go to Bangalore or Delhi for any event, it's like it kind of gives me the confidence because the kind of support that Thai has always shown, it's a validation, right? Like what you're building is something actually very, very meaningful. And I think that's a validation that every entrepreneur kind of expects. Yeah. So there are a couple of people whom I know from this. So for those you don't know, hi. First of all, thank you so much for joining. So before I talk about resilience, since today's the session is mostly about resilience and everything, I think Nisha has already mentioned what it is. So I would, instead of just putting out a presentation, I would actually talk from my personal experience, because what I've realized that as a founder, you can have all the skills you want, but fundamentally resilience is what matters. Resilience is what keeps you going. So I'll probably take you through my journey and just show you little moments and glimpses of the resilience that we showed, and where the resilience actually helped us keep going. So before I jump into any frameworks, I want to tell you about how I got here. I am an engineer. Did my engineering from Bangalore, computer science engineer. I was born and brought up in Bombay, and my early formative years were in Bombay. And after that, I moved to Dubai because my dad got transferred, and higher education was there. Then I came back to India for my engineering because I felt that a lot of times the kids in UAE, considering myself, we were too privileged and everything was at convenience, and I wanted to be a little more street smart. So I came to India to do my engineering, and that really gave me a lot of exposure. And after my engineering, went back to UAE, started working in the aviation industry in the operations sector. Worked there for 1 year, and post that, I came back to India. Like we all moved from Dubai to Kerala, settled here, and I was also taking my MBA side by side. So I started working as an HR manager at Mahindra. So that's about my professional journey. So I had no intentions of being an entrepreneur. Nobody from my family is an entrepreneur. In fact, my father actually started his business after he saw me and my co-founder running a business. So we were kind of motivation to him. So yeah, so by training, I am an engineer. Um, and how I got into this was in 2020. So me and my co-founder slash husband Nasif, we were in the same city, and we happened to meet. So he was actually my senior in college, but we weren't connected back then. In Calicut, we met, we connected, we got engaged, we were about to get married. COVID happened. When COVID happened, we both were locked in our houses, and eventually, like work became work from home, and then everything kind of slowed down. So I just happened to share a scenario with Nasif that, hey, you know what? I saw a couple of chechis, Kudumbashri chechis coming and picking up sanitary pad waste from our residential area, and I saw what the condition of the sanitary pads were, and I'm so glad that I'm not contributing to it because I was using menstrual cups. So Nasif comes from a very, very hardcore business family. Everybody in his family are traders, even like the men, women, everybody. They are into big time trading, trading of fruits and vegetables, goods and men. So he was like, hey, you know, you speak so highly about menstrual cups. Let's do something around it. I was like, do what? And then we decided, okay, let's first find out what is the gap, because I think for every business to exist, you need to fill a gap, right? You can definitely launch the same kind of products, of course, but at the end of the day, you need to bring one differentiation or USP to the service you're providing or your positioning. Angana, when we like did a small market research among our friends and families, we realized that a lot of people know about this product or any period product, but they do not have the complete awareness on how to use. So we decided, okay, let's bridge that gap. The lack of awareness is the gap. Let's bridge it by providing, of course, good products. So that's how we started FemiSafe. And there was no plan that, okay, we would make this into a 100 crore company or a 500 crore company or IPO, nothing like that. We want to solve a problem. Let's see where it takes us. If it does not work, not a problem. But I think, along the way, over the years, we kind of became too committed to it. And in the first year itself, we decided, okay, we are going to make this a huge brand. And we started off as a period care brand, wherein we would solve the period discomforts for women. And in the past 1 year, we've done a small pivot, or I would like to rather say enhancing of our scope, wherein we have decided to be a brand that solves the daily micro discomforts of women. Why only focus during the periods? Because as more women are coming into workforce, it's important that they be more comfortable so that they can give their best. So now, if you ask us what's FemiSafe, we are a comfort first brand where we build high functional products to solve the daily physical annoyances that women go through. So a couple of examples would be like sweat, odor, chafing, rashes, cramps, pursley. So that is where we are heading to. And yes, somewhere along the way, we did pick up some recognition. Kylie Jwala, TiE Social Impactor of the Year. I mean, that is something I will forever cherish, because for the first time, the validation that I got, or me and Nasi for FemiSafe got for what do you say, for the work we were doing, was TiE Social Impactor. And I think for some people they'll be like, oh, it's just an award, but I think for every entrepreneur who is building in a very lean way, getting these recognitions, it actually motivates them a lot, and it really did for us. Then got listed in Forbes 30 under 30 Asia this year. Been on stages like TEDx and Josh Talks. I mean, yeah, from the outside, it can look like, it's all a straight line, right? Idea, growth, awards, done. But no, it was absolutely not a straight line. I think in 2022, when I got TiE Social Impact of the Year, it was like, so 2022 was a very difficult year for us, right? Because we started a business, and we were like, we were scaling slowly. But of course, to scale, you need funds. And we had no idea how the whole fundraising happens. We were just learning it. And it was a very difficult time. We didn't know who the right investors to pitch, how to find the right investors. And that, it was a very bumpy year. And at the end of that year, I think in 2022 December, if I'm not wrong, was when when TiE Social Impact of the Year happened. And it was like, oh, feels like, all the bumpy roads led to a very good destination. So that was definitely a motivation. So yeah, so again, like, it was never a straight road for us. um, it's like behind that straight line, there has been a lot of moments where only thing that kept us going forward is resilience. And I think um, every founder should have that, because if you are a founder who does not have resilience, who does not have perseverance, you often tend to just stop halfway in the journey. So behind that line, there were a lot of scenarios where money didn't show up on time and it had to. Then we had partnerships that we thought would, end up in a good way, but it fell apart. Then we had a whole market where we had to convince, because starting as a menstrual cup brand, it was very difficult, because people knew about the product, but knowing about your product is not enough. They need to buy your product. So we had to convince people, why they needed what we were building. And there were days where we had to hold it together, for the team we had. So it was a very small team when we started off. It was just probably, I think, initially for 6 months, it was just me and Nasif. And then when slowly we had more orders coming in, we had two more people. So initially, I think for the first 1 year, we were a team of 6 people. That's it. And I mean, there were times when I did not feel that, okay, I did not feel myself. So I think that's what I would want to talk to you guys today, instead of just putting out presentation. I feel whoever is there in this meeting are already entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs. So here's the thing that I actually want to flip for you guys, right? What I have learned in my experience is that resilience is not a personality trait. And it's not like some people are born tough and some aren't. It's a skill. And it's a skill that every entrepreneur, whether you choose to develop that skill or no, if you are really bound to building your startup, you will build that skill. So I think I am around 4.5, 5 years into building FemiSafe, and every single decision that you make kind of builds up your resilience, right? Initially, especially as a woman founder, I wouldn't say it was very difficult for me, but there were some scenarios where people kind of underestimated whether, okay, underestimated us as a couple, because we were young, we were newly married, and we were entering into a domain where not a lot of brands exist. That was one thing. Then there were a lot of scenarios where, I mean, for example, if I say, okay, I am a co-founder, they were like, oh, you're a co-founder, or are you just helping your husband building his business during your free time? So, I mean, resilience is just, kind of a bunch of decisions you keep making under pressure. It's built by, you making decisions under pressure again and again until it actually becomes your nature, where you're very resilient. um, and I'm saying this because I think there is a myth that all the founders are sold, right? Like, oh, don't get scared, don't doubt yourself. That's not true. You will get scared, you will doubt yourself. And I think at the end of the day, it's what you choose to do, right? And I tell everybody, even to my team members, even if you're scared, do it scared, right? So there is a pattern that I have seen in most of the entrepreneurs, and I have seen in myself, is that um, there are 5 types of setbacks, right? Every single founder will go through, especially in the early days of building their startup or the brand. The first one is team leadership. So when I was starting FemiSafe, since I already had HR experience, I thought, oh, it would be very easy. Just mark the attendance, just kind of catch them when they are late to office or when they don't finish their task. But no, that's not it is. And I think nobody talks about this enough. It's about being the calm one when you don't feel calm, right? Because I think founders, or as entrepreneurs, you really carry the temperature of the room. And as a founder, you're often the person who signs off on what the HR decides. You set the tone for the whole company, and you have to be the steady person in the room, even on the days when you don't feel steady at all. So there have been days where I didn't feel like coming to office, or where I was like, in the lowest of my mood. But when I learned that, you know, I am the one who's going to set the temperature of the room, um, we just have to fake being fine. But you have to also be intentional about what you let land on the team versus what you carry yourself, because sometimes when the team makes certain errors, of course they have to be called out for that. But on the other hand, if it's some funding issue, it's honestly not the team's concern, and you have to hold it all together. So I think there are two ways of being resilient. One is being resilient for yourself, and being resilient in a way where people can actually lean on. So that is one thing that I've learned from team building. um, Now, in the team building itself, there are situations where you hire people. So this is the biggest difficult scenario that I've had, wherein you hire people and you get it wrong sometimes. So building the right team is a resilience test. You will hire people who turn out to be the wrong fit. You lose people who you did not want to lose. You'll go through stretches, especially as a small team, where you're going, where you have to do, and your teammates have to do three people's job. Um, but the lesson here is that I never treat a bad hire or an exit as a personal failure. Initially, I used to, and I think that is not the right way. I just treat it as an information about what I can do better the next time. So that is also a kind of resilience, actually. Instead of just sitting on the disappointment, actually trying to fix it. So these are the two patterns when it comes to hiring, because I think getting the right team members in the early days of your startup is very, very important. So I've had a scenario and a situation where I had to fire my entire team. This was in 2023. I think right after I got the TiE Social Impact of the Year, we found out there were some discrepancies happening, and where the teammates whom we trusted a lot kind of were not doing things right. They had to fire the entire team, and it was just me, Nasif, and we had an intern who was fairly new. I think that was a form of resilience. And now, through every um, experience, one is resilience builds, of course, and the next thing that I feel is that we can do it, right? We've been there, done that before. The next issue, of course, is inventory delays. It's like, I mean, there's this one's very, very specific for people who deal with products, tangible products, D2C brands and everything. A shipment gets delayed, a vendor misses a deadline, and suddenly you've got demand. There is no stock, there's no visibility for the stock or when the next batch comes. And for this, I think the lesson would be, resilience in this pattern is mostly about communication, right? With our customers, with our team, with ourselves. So whenever this scenario happens in FemiSafe, so the first time when it happened, we kind of panicked. We had a product which was one of our best sellers. It went out of stock. We had at least 300, 400 orders per day to fulfill of just that one product. We didn't know what to do. If we cancel all the orders, it would probably bring us a loss. What we decided is we would communicate openly with our customers and with our team. So one thing that I've learned is, don't go quiet when things are delayed. And the founders who handle this specific thing well are the ones who over communicate the delay instead of hoping nobody notices. So what we did is we called every single customer. We told them, see, there's a slight delay. But of course, we didn't tell it was because of inventory issues or delay. We told them because of high demand, like, we are preparing your products, we want to curate it. So that's a very smart way to put it. So we hope you'll be patient with us. And every single customer of ours were like, yeah, sure, not a problem. So I think that built resilience. And nowadays, if anything goes out of stock, I'm like, it's okay. Let's just openly communicate with our customers. They're more than happy to wait for like 3 or 4 days. So that is one thing that I've learned, right, when it comes to inventory delays. Now, the fourth pattern where I learned resilience is funding, of course, um, especially where the money that had to come in, you were counting on it, but it doesn't show up on time. You have an investor who's super excited. You've met a bunch of times, even started all the paperwork, but right when you think that, okay, this is going to close, they go quiet. It's not even a closure, it's just silence. And the lesson that I learned here is not how do I make the money come faster. It's, we have to build the company irrespective whether you have money from external investors or whether you don't. So we've learned over the past couple of years that you have to build your company assuming that uh, the check might not show up on time, even if everybody, including your investor, genuinely believes that it will. So that means you always need to have a plan B before you need one, not after you start panicking. So every single time when this situation has happened with us, what we do is we always, like, at least 4 or 5 months before, of course, when we go for fundraise, 4 or 5 months before, we make sure that our cash flow is in such a way that later we don't have to panic. And that has actually helped us, because in the first 2 years there have been situations where investors have told us, yes, the money will be transferred tomorrow, day after tomorrow. We wait, we don't take inventory, orders are piling up, and then suddenly you are ghosted. What do? You can't sit there crying, right? So we've learned our way through it. We have learned that even though the money is coming in, so there's a saying in the startup ecosystem: no money is your money until it's in your bank account. So that is something we live by now. So even if we are going to raise funds, what we usually do is that we make sure we manage our cash flow, so that even if the money doesn't come in, we can keep operating. So that building that resilience with respect to funding, I think, I don't know if this will actually put across the thing that I'm actually thinking, but that's something every founder will definitely experience in their life once. And if you guys are going to experience it, just know that you have to have the thought in your mind that no money is your money until it comes in your bank account. So don't rely on this money. Now, the fifth pattern that actually helped me build my resilience would be, um, again, cash flow. I would go back to that. So we do it on a day-to-day basis, right? Even with a great product with real traction, there are certain stretches that kind of come in unexpected, right? Let's say there might be payroll addition, vendors, ad spend, especially. So as a brand, I think ad spend is one thing that kind of stretches a little. So what I would what we have done before is that we have taken unglamorous calls. We stop spending on advertisements. We renegotiate our timelines with our investors, sorry, not our investors, from with our vendors. We push the payments that we have to receive. And I think what I've learned is these are not signs of failure. At the end of the day, in a business, for a business to succeed, being resilient also means surviving through all of it. And one quote that I live by, I tell to everybody in my team, right? Winners are losers who just tried once more, right? Otherwise, everybody would be the same. So we just, kind of keep pushing, we keep pushing. Staying alive is what is fundamentally important when you are building a business, because only that is going to let you get to the next stage. Nobody actually posts about this on LinkedIn, but I think it's one of the most important resilience work a founder actually does. Staying alive. Now, um, as I said earlier, right, like when I started this session, about how I was never an underconfident person, but I am not a kind of person who would go in a crowd of, like, let's say 20 unknown people and go there and talk about my business. I would never do that. And I think building resilience is also kind of building your confidence. So let's just talk about confidence for a second, because I think it's the most misunderstood word ever. So everybody imagines confidence as this thing where you feel like you're walking into a room, and it's like everything works in your favor. But I think it's the straight opposite. Uh, because the first time when I was entering into the TiE women event, I'm talking about the offline event, okay? It was all unknown faces, and I'm not a good salesperson, right? I am not good at selling things. So I was like, I just introduced myself, and when they asked me what do I do, I told what FemiSafe does. That's it, right? And I think that was a kind of resilience that I actually built over time, where so I used to think that, okay, even if I tell them about my business, will they really understand, right? But that resilience is more like, I would say, as a founder, you have to be shameless. So now, anytime when I go into a room, I have built that confidence in me that I know my business in and out, and I'm going to talk about it irrespective of whether the person on the other side, you know, understands it or not. But I try to make them understand in very, very simple language, just like trying to make a 5-year-old understand. Yeah. So that is one thing that I think I have developed, and it's kind of part of resilience. Then the next thing that, with respect to confidence is being able to, I think it's a part of resilience also, being able to accept no, right? You will hear a lot of no's from a lot of places. So when FemiSafe started and when we were going to raise funds, as I said, right, we had no idea what an investor wants, what are the things that the investor will look into. Nothing. We just thought, okay, you have a business. So we are seeing all these news, right? This brand is raising funds, this brand is raising. So we pitched, I think we pitched to at least 45, 50 plus investors before we got a first round of funding. And that was actually the phase that I told you earlier, which actually helped us build resilience. And because all the investors told no, I went back to my dad, and I'm a person who hates borrowing money. I went back to my dad, and instead of borrowing money from him, I pitched to him. Right. So I think resilience is also directly proportional to the kind of confidence you have, the kind of conviction you have. And I think confidence does not mean that you never get turned down, right? It's the other side of it. You get turned down by people, but you just come back up stronger. Then the next is a part of confidence is also how well you know your business. That's very, very important. And I think as a founder or as an entrepreneur, everybody should know what the numbers are. Again, that kind of builds up the confidence, and you can just put yourself out there if you know everything about your business. Because as I said, right, the first time when we used to pitch to investors, we were not that um, well versed with our numbers, and sometimes we used to fumble. But I think the moment you kind of have the understanding that you know your business better than everybody, it just works magic. Then third thing that I noticed about confidence is that I think my teammates have told me this. It's about how calm you are, right? As a founder, I know being a founder actually does not mean that it's like that you're calm inside your head, but you have to be calm. I mean, that's a trade-off that you do, because people look up to you, and if you are the one who's kind of shaking, and then the entire team falls down. So these are the three things that actually help me build my confidence, along with building the resilience. And apart from all that, I think over the years, when you are a founder, there is a certain kind of founder mindset that you actually build, right? What I've understood is that, of course, resilience is not a solo sport. And I want to be very, very real about this, right? Having a co-founder or having a really good team, having a community like TiE around you, having advisors who can just be blunt, who aren't extra nice, it's very, very fundamental. Because nobody builds something very, very resilient, whether it's your business, whether it's your personality, only by listening to sugar coated stuffs, right? So that is very, very important. Then the next is rejection. So rejection, I mean, I can't even count the number of times um, we've had rejections. But I think today, if FemiSafe still exists, it's because of the resilience of both us founders. And I have actually seen it, right? When the founders, so when we have issues with fundraising or anything, right, or inventory, when we have our team members, right, who are head of operations and everything, when they come to us, and when we seem very confident and very resilient, it kind of reflects in their confidence also. So that is something non-negotiable. There are days when we have gone back home, we have cried, but the next day morning when you come back to office, you have to kind of, I mean, I follow this mantra of fake it till you make it. And I think every founder should, because again, whether it be about confidence, whether it be about resilience, it's a mindset, right? So the kind of founder mindset that everybody should have is that no matter what, let's just do it and see, right? And rejections, as I mentioned earlier, right? There are going to be a lot of rejections. There are going to be a lot of incidents where you must have put a lot of effort, but it just didn't work out. But I think at the end of the day, that's how businesses should be, right? And I think the most boring job is what builds confidence in a founder. Uh, let's like very simple thing, right? Like hiring honestly, it's a very time taking, very effort worthy event in a business. And I think that is what, again, builds your confidence. I think I have interviewed around 100 to 200 people, and if out of that 50 might be the right hire, the remaining 50 might be the wrong hire. And the moment I moved from guilt tripping myself, thinking, oh, what, my decision was wrong, the moment I moved from that to the thought process of it's okay, like next time, next time. So that actually really helped. And I think as entrepreneurs, I mean, if you are already an entrepreneur, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, one thing I can guarantee for sure is the what do you say, the, I wouldn't say department, but the incident that is going to build the maximum resilience in you would definitely be when it's a cash crunch. So a couple of things that you have to be well prepared uh, before you land in that position is, of course, as I mentioned, right? Cut off all the unwanted spends, um, though it might bring a temporary dip in your business. Cut off all the spends, all unwanted expenses, anything, and run as if you are starting from day one. Because every single business on day one, the budgets are very tight, right? That is a form of resilience. And I think every time when FemiSafe raises fund, and of course, fund delays keep happening. So money is what has, the money issues have is what actually built our resilience. And I think there is no better teacher than money to show or to teach you about resilience. Even when the first time when I went to pitch to my dad, he was like, why are you struggling? Why are you guys struggling so much? You guys had a good job, six figure. Why can't you go back? But I think we were so resilient about the fact that we have started something. We want to bring something to the world that makes everybody's life easier, comfortable, and better. That just kind of kept us going. So, if there's one thing that I would want you guys to be walking away with, it's like resilience is not one big heroic moment. Like, me and Nasif, a lot of times we sit, we think, oh, what, we've been there, done that before. So now if anything comes, like we're just like standing over there to face it. Um, as I said, right, it's a pile of small, um, undramatic decisions made over and over again under pressure that actually nobody else sees you make, right? Only founders understand this part of the journey. So I don't think you have to kind of feel unshakable to be resilient. Of course, you have to shake, you have to fall, and then you get back. According to me, that is what resilience is. And I think one thing I've noticed, I am not trying to be biased over here towards any one gender, but I think women are more resilient. For some reason, I have noticed that in a lot of my female founder friends. And I think we innately have that characteristic, or I don't know if it is biological or scientific. I don't know if it's psychological, but I have noticed that. And every single person I know, I mean, I'm just saying this as an ending note. Every single person I know who has a female co-founder, they say that, man, like, um, I am unshaken because of me having a co-founder who's a woman. So I think that's something we can probably be proud of. You have to just keep making the call. It does not even need to be the right call. Even if the last one did not go right, instead of being obsessed about making the right call, just do it. So I think that's what I would like to talk about resilience. I mean, the incidence of building resilience in our journey has been so many. If I have to point it out, every single incident, it's going to, the call is not going to end anytime soon. But I think, yeah, a couple of points would be this, right? Money matter is actually going to show you how resilient you are. That is something we all have to be prepared for. I wasn't prepared because I had no mentors. When we started FemiSafe, it was just two youngsters, left the corporate job and started FemiSafe. But I think, as I said, right, 2022 was when we started raising funds. And that was the right moment when I entered into TiE Women and TiE. So it kind of gave us the exposure. But I think now the exposure is much more. So I think all you have to just do is be resilient, be confident, be have very high conviction about what you're building. And the rest of the resources are already around you. So yeah, so I think that's, like what I wanted to actually share. And thank you so much, everybody, for hearing to my. I don't know if it's a speech or a presentation or rant, but I just wanted to share, founder to founder. So if you guys have any questions now, I'm more than open to taking it.
Everyone, so it's open for Q&A. If you have any questions, please ask Noureen.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question for you.
Hi, sure.
Yeah, hi. It was a wonderful. I love the way where you express the real, the the fear that is all inside a founder's heart. So thank you for that. And I just wanted to know, it is regarding, have you ever tried for, as a woman, they talk a lot about women led startups and having a lot of funding and all. Have you found any problem there, as being a woman, basically? Even though they say it is for a woman, you did mention that people keep asking, is it that you are helping your husband? I mean, I do face the same thing. That's why, I mean, even though you have ideas and everything, you're a bit uh, not looked on with, you know that you have the expertise. So Does that also reflect when you go and go give a pitch, go for funding? Can you just give?
Yeah. So, honestly, I have not experienced that till now, but I do know some people who are. So maybe the reason I didn't experience that is because I had a co-founder who was a male, right? But I have a couple of female founder friends who have experience where they, when they go to pitch for fund, they are asked a question. If they are young, they are asked, "Hey, won't you conceive soon? Won't you get married soon? What about your startup?" If they're a bit older, like maybe in their 30s and already have toddlers, they're like, how will you take care of your kid and all those stuff. So those things do exist, but by God's grace I haven't experienced that. And the reason why I think it could be is because I have a founder who's a male, so probably they think that, okay, like if I step back, there's another person to kind of take care of it. But yeah, these kind of biases actually exist. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Uh, Hi, I have one question. I'm Pallavi. So basically, this is about the rejection. You have mentioned that uh, everything is going fine. You're about to get the fund, and at the last minute they say, I mean, they ghost you. So
Hmm.
this happens even in the sales call. I have not reached till the level of investment or something, but then it get affect me a lot for some time. Like why they ghosted me. They were saying all good about my product, and suddenly they were happy with the presentation and demo, and then suddenly they say, uh, no, I don't want it right now, or I'll let you know. Or sometimes it's just stop picking up your call and just goes to you. So like how to take those kind of, like, currently I feel like I am not taking it as totally negative, but at least for a few hours, a few half an hour, I keep thinking what happened, why it happened. So is it
I mean, honestly, it's very natural, right? Like, see, at the end of the day, we are humans.
yeah,
I know positive thinking and stuff and all work. So I mean, I just had an employee who I had to terminate today, because the employee was probably kind of absconding, ghosting stuff and all. I had given the person a task, no response, nothing. So I spoke to my HR and we tried to reach out to that person, but went absconding, and it was actually affecting me from the past 2 days, right? Because I was like, what's wrong? Because there is that. So innately, as humans, especially women, we need answers for everything, right?
yeah,
We need to know the why. And I think what has helped me is nowadays I'm like, I don't need to know the why. It has happened. Okay. I mean, it's going to be replaced by something better. So trust me, um, it's my personal experience and a lot of my founder friends, they're told, when you become an entrepreneur, spirituality really helps you, right? So you see all these entrepreneurs, right? At some point, they go into the path of spirituality because it kind of actually helps you ground yourself. Otherwise, you will be always looking for the answer of why, and that in the long term might be very, very draining. It can even cause burnout. So after my last two burnouts, now I'm like, no, I don't need to know why. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. This happens for us when, in the case of investors, right? So since we are not a service company, we don't have leads or anything. But when it comes to investors, they talk, they lead us on and everything, and then one suddenly they ghost us. So I just try once to know the reason why they kind of ghosted us. But if there's no response, I'm like their loss. So I
yeah.
think I've kind of learned to live with it like that.
Great, great. I was like, sometimes I feel like, am I on the, like, start questioning myself, like, am I on the right path? Is my product really good the way I think so? Or all those questions start coming in. But I know I am just started, like my company is just 1 month old, so it is too way long to go.
Yeah, a long way to go. But I think, I mean, if you can get the feedback, it's very well and good. But if you
Yeah,
cannot, I think let's just not obsess about it. Just obsess on building. And yeah, that's it.
yeah, thank you. No.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Rupal. Ma'am, I have, as you say, I have a question. You face lots of rejection from investors. So, what they want from women, as what they think about our business, like woman can, I mean to say, what we have to first of all clear to him, we are woman entrepreneur, but we are also doing business very well. Like what they want from business, think what they think about us, like we are now in stage fundraising, and sometime I'll teach, but me and my husband are also founders, but sometime I explain, sometime he explain, but investor are think about like that, okay, husband are doing and woman are a co-founder, as she cannot do anything, and like how can we explain them? We are also in that.
I think, I mean, I never had this thing with investors, but one thing that I felt would help you without over explaining yourself that you are also part of this brand or whatever you're building is if you and your husband have very clear, separate departments that you're handling, that actually solves half of the problem. So at FemiSafe, it's like I had the HR, I had organic content, and I had the product development. So when an investor asks us like, how are your responsibilities divided? If you have a clear answer, I think half of the problem gets sorted over there itself. So they know that you are also adding value, and the company cannot exist without you. At the same time, your co-founder, whoever, if it's a male or a female, also adds value. So yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions?
Hello.
I
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. Uh, Good afternoon, madam. I'm Sophia from Millet Factory. First of all, a big salute for you because always you are every time you are inspiring me. I'm heard a lot about you
Thank you so much. Means a lot.
because but my question is means I know I am in the right path. Can I speak in Malayalam because
Sure,
I'm in
sure,
a
absolutely.
അതായത് my product is from millets. It's a instant energy drink, like same like Horlicks, but it
Okay.
contain only one millet and organic palm sugar. But children will not recognize I am eating millet. ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും ആലോചിക്കുന്നത് എന്റെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് നല്ലതാണ്, അതിനൊന്ന് മാർക്കറ്റിലൊന്ന് സ്റ്റേബിൾ ആക്കണം എന്നുള്ളത് ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും ആലോചിക്കാം. അപ്പോഴൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ആലോചിക്കുന്ന മാഡത്തിന്റെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആണ്. മാഡം ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റിനെ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് അത് സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്ത് ഈ ഒരു ഇതിലെ കൊണ്ടുവരിക എന്നുള്ളത് അത് വലിയൊരു ടാസ്ക് ആണ്, വലിയ ടാസ്ക് അത്. അവിടെ ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റേഴ്സിന് ഞാൻ എടുക്കാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നില്ല. കാരണം ഒരു മാർക്കറ്റിൽ ഇറങ്ങി ഒരു സ്റ്റേബിൾ ഇൻകം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് എടുക്കുന്നതാണോ നല്ലത്, അത് ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോഴേ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് പിച്ചിന് പോകുന്നതാണോ നല്ലതെന്നുള്ളതാണ് എന്റെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ.
Okay. See, it depends on നിങ്ങളെ ബ്രാൻഡിന്റെ ഫ്യൂച്ചർ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നിങ്ങൾ കാണുന്നുള്ളത്. സോ ഫോർ FemiSafe, നമ്മൾ നമ്മൾ ഓൺലൈൻ ബ്രാൻഡ് ആണ്. സോ വെൻ യു ആർ എൻ ഓൺലൈൻ ബ്രാൻഡ് യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു സ്പെൻഡ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓൺ മെറ്റാ ആഡ്സ് ആൻഡ് എവറിഥിങ്. സോ യു കെൻ ഡിസൈഡ്, അതായത് നിങ്ങളെ ബ്രാൻഡിന്റെ ഫ്യൂച്ചർ എങ്ങനെ പോകണം എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഇഫ് യു ജസ്റ്റ് വോണ്ട് ടു, സോ ഫണ്ടിങ് അധിക ബ്രാൻഡ്സും റേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഹൈപ്പർ ഗ്രോത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. സോ നിങ്ങളിപ്പം നിങ്ങളെ ബ്രാൻഡ് റൺ ചെയ്ത് ഇഫ് യു ജസ്റ്റ് വോണ്ട് ടു ഗോ ഒരു ഭയങ്കര സ്റ്റേബിൾ ആയിട്ട് മാത്രം പോകാനാണെങ്കിൽ ഐ വുഡ് നോട്ട് അഡ്വൈസ് യു ടു ടേക്ക് ഫണ്ടിങ്. ബട്ട് ഇഫ് യു ആർ സംബഡി ഹു വോണ്ട്സ് ഹൈപ്പർ ഗ്രോത്ത്, അത് നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഒരു 3-4 yearsൽ യു വോണ്ട് ടു എന്താ പറയുക പെട്ടെന്ന് ഗ്രോ ചെയ്യണം, അങ്ങനത്തെ കേസസിലാണെങ്കിൽ you will have to raise funds. So at the end of the day, it's about you. It's like, do you just want to just grow slowly, or do you want to go really fast? So sometimes when you want to go really fast, you will have to take external funding. So
because it's a FMCG product. But daily, നമ്മുടെ mothers കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഹോർലിക്സ് ബൂസ്റ്റ് കൊടുക്കുന്നു. In
Yeah.
India, the maltodextrin in the second position. But in Singapore and other countries, maltodextrin in the 8th position. We are not thinking about it. It will not contain, my product will not contain maltodextrin, but it is soluble in the insoluble in hot milk and hot water. അത് ഞാൻ എങ്ങനെ അതൊന്ന് സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്ത് കൊണ്ടുപോകുന്നുള്ളതാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു കഷ്ടം.
Okay, so see, I mean, if your product is something that requires awareness, അതായത് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അറിയില്ല പക്ഷെ പ്രോബ്ലം അവെയർ ആണ്, ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അറിയാം, അതായത് ഹോർലിക്സിലും ബൂസ്റ്റിലും ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്ത കുറെ സംഭവങ്ങളുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ സൊല്യൂഷൻ അവെയർ അല്ല, ഇതിന് വേറൊരു സൊല്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ട്. സോ ദാറ്റ് റിക്വയേഴ്സ് ഒരു സർട്ടൻ എമൗണ്ട് ഓഫ് മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ്. ഇനി എങ്ങനത്തെ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് ആണ് നിങ്ങൾ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ്? ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഫെമിസേഫ് തുടങ്ങിയ സമയത്ത് മെൻസ്ട്രുവൽ കപ്പ് ആയിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ ഫസ്റ്റ് പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ്. അത്യാവശ്യം മാർക്കറ്റിംഗും അവയർനെസ്സും വേണ്ട പ്രോഡക്റ്റ്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ we focused on, instead of selling the product, we focused on creating awareness that ഇങ്ങനെയും ഒരു പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ നമ്മൾ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പം വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ഇസ് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ഈ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിനെ കുറിച്ച് അറിഞ്ഞു വരും, ആൻഡ് ദെൻ ദേ വിൽ കം ബാക്ക് ടു യുവർ ബ്രാൻഡ് ബിക്കോസ് യു ആർ ഗിവിംഗ് ദം ദി അവേർനെസ് ആൻഡ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ. സോ ഐ തിങ്ക് ഫോർ യു ദ വേ ടു ഗോ വുഡ് പ്രോബബ്ലി ബി ദ സെയിം.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, tell me, madam.
Yeah, I mean, you are audible.
Yeah. I'm in heavy traffic jam.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I already told you, you were not able to hear.
Yeah. I'm here, hearing. Tell me, madam.
ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞെന്താ വെച്ചാല്, ഇപ്പം നിങ്ങളെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞാല് നിങ്ങളെ കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സ് എല്ലാവരും പ്രോബ്ലം അവെയർ ആണ്. അധികം പേർക്കും അറിയാം ഈ ഹോർലിക്സിലും ബൂസ്റ്റിലൊക്കെ കുറെ ഷുഗർ ഉണ്ട്, ആവശ്യമില്ലാത്ത കുറെ സാധനങ്ങളുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ they are not solution aware. So your marketing രീതി should basically be not just by showing the product first. ഇതാണ് ഇപ്പൊ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന പ്രോഡക്ട്സിന്റെ പ്രോബ്ലം, ഇതാണ്, അതിനുള്ള സൊല്യൂഷൻ നിങ്ങൾ പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യണം. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി അവയർനെസ് ഫസ്റ്റ് മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ്. ഫെമിസേഫ് നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെയാണ് ചെയ്തത്, ബിക്കോസ് നമ്മൾ മെൻസ്ട്രുവൽ കപ്പ് ഫസ്റ്റ് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്യും, അതിനെ കുറിച്ച് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, അറിയാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബെറ്റർ പീരിയഡ് ടൈം വേണം എന്നുള്ളത് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അറിയാം, പക്ഷെ അതിന്റെ ഓൾട്ടർനേറ്റീവ് എന്ത് എന്നുള്ളത് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അറിയില്ല. സോ യു പ്രസന്റ് പ്രോബ്ലം ഫസ്റ്റ്, then ആ പ്രോബ്ലത്തിന്റെ സൊല്യൂഷൻ എന്താ is your product. So you can do like that kind of marketing.
ഇതിപ്പോ ഞാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്, ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റർ എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഞാനിപ്പോ എല്ലാ സ്കൂളുകളിലും അത് ഫ്രീ സാമ്പിൾ കൊടുക്കണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റർ വേണ്ടി വരും, ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ FMCG പ്രോഡക്റ്റ്. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് അത് നല്ല എക്സ്പെൻസ് ഉണ്ട് അതിന്റെ ബ്രാൻഡിങ്ങിനും അതിന്റെ അഡ്വർടൈസ്മെന്റിനൊക്കെ. അപ്പൊ നമ്മളിത് പിച്ച് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് അത്രയും ടേൺ ഓവർ കാണിക്കാനില്ലാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് അവർ നമ്മളെ വാല്യൂ കുറച്ച് കാണുമോ എന്നുള്ളതാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു ടെൻഷൻ.
In that case, why don't you go for grants? If you are a woman founder.
I got the grants from Raftar and Startup India, but I have not received it because last year only, because I got the national award and IAMR award. I think after 3 months or 6 months, they credit the amount.
Okay, got it. അപ്പൊ അവിടെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ ക്യാഷ് ഫ്ലോന്റെ സംഭവം വരുന്നത്. So you will have to cut down, അതായത് you will have to, for now, don't directly go to schools to give this because it will require money. അപ്പൊ ഇപ്പം പൈസ ഇല്ലാത്ത സംഭവങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാം. Once the money comes in, you be prepared to spend that money. അപ്പം അതിനുള്ള ഗ്രൗണ്ട് വർക്ക് you can actually already start it now, like reach out to schools, അവരായിട്ടുള്ള MOU എന്തെങ്കിലും സൈൻ ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുക. So by the time money comes, you are all set.
Okay. Okay, madam. Thank you. It's a very good class.
Thank you so much.
Very useful to us. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, madam. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Ma'am, if there is no more questions, shouting wind up.
Sorry?
If there's no more questions, shall we wind up?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
So, do you want to share your details or anything with the participants if they want to reach?
Sure. I can share. I'll just share my number and my email address. So, I mean, LinkedIn, you can just type my name. Um, yes, so you can reach out to me. I've put it in chat. Hope that works.
Yes, sure, ma'am. I'll also share that with the participants. Thank you so much for this amazing session. I'm sure that they found it really useful.
I do hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sure like they loved how you made it interactive, like rather than using a PPT.
Yes. I mean, I'm somebody who doesn't concentrate on PPTs. So I think founders will not have the attention span to concentrate on PPTs because there will be a lot of things running in their mind. So a conversation would be the best.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for, your very, very valuable and precious time. Thank you once again and hope to meet you guys somewhere. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, there is not available.